pick Fast Cannon. One is you're less confident in your execution, and that cuts out a huge chunk of a very execution-heavy part of the game. And then two, sequence-breaking Moldorm 2 is something that not everyone is super able to do.
No, it is. If you know this, Acktheboker is pretty good at hovering. Megawott probably not confident in his hovering abilities. I have seen him try. I have seen him succeed, but he's probably just not confident enough in his abilities. So he's trying to use that to his advantage against Ack here.
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely with 7-7 for Sequence Breaking Moldorm 2 to actually be something that could happen. But, you know, the chance remains. So Fast Cannon, a nice counter pick to that. Bombs from the tree pole, very friendly start to this seed. Ack with the Uncle start here. And 8 bombs from the bush crab too.
I think it's safe to say Megawott won't be farming anymore. We got an Ice Rod on the Uncle. I mean, it's good to see it early. It's just, do we need it or not?
Yeah, I mean, we may not ever need the Ice Rod. It's also possible that we do need the Ice Rod and Megawatt just never finds his way over to the escape to find it. But, you know, regardless, Ack's going to have a weapon of some kind to help moving forward, either against the blue guards in the escape or mini Moldorms. Although he only picked up one of the small magics, I'm not sure if that was intentional.
Sometimes I feel like players will, when going through the Uncle passage, they will just try to kill the guard that's closest to them and only worry about lifting one pot if there's only one guard close to the chest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the advantages to the Uncle Start is that early access to magic in case you do find a magic weapon in the early game, like the Ice Rod. Or, you know, hammer, powder, or something. So, interestingly, Megawatt, despite finding all the bombs, doesn't move on into Kakariko and instead going South Shore.
Yeah. He got a mirror, and so did Ack just now from the Lost Woods hideout. That will be useful right here, right now for Megawatt, actually. And goodbye, says the block. You didn't see a block there. It just didn't show up to work today. That's all it was, right?
It's still there. We just turned it invisible, pretty sure. Nice fire source in the dam. I thought he might go over to Agina, but we are headed to Mini Moldorm Cave with all those bombs.
Typically, you'd like to have a better weapon. Like Ack has the Ice Rod, that can be useful against the Moldorms here. Bombs will work. It's just a lot scarier and riskier because you may not have bombs for going anywhere further in the light world. See, and the bombs will just do that sometimes. If you throw them at the exact right time or the exact wrong time, depending on how you look at it, they just won't hit enemies.
Yeah, it has an altitude value that has to coincide with the floor there. Finding a sword there, that would have been nice to have. And a shovel, so nice fetch quest to follow up his Kakariko. Probably do shovel into Kak after Ice Rod Cave here.
That bird is so pesky.
Yeah, I usually walk farther down before turning right, just so I don't aggro him. Kakariko fairly empty so far through most of the checks. We still have a couple left, though.
And this is the scariest corner of the light world over here in the bottom right. Megawatt thankfully has blue mail, so he can take a few more hits from the crabs than he normally would be able to.
Blue rupee to go with the blue mail. Not much in Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, wow, we got another sword. Wow, that's that speaks volumes weird. Right there.
You know, we found 2 swords and a lamp. I wonder, I'm not going to say it, but I wonder what that could mean.
Gee, I don't know. You know what? It puzzles me so much, I'm not even going to bother saying it either. How about that?
All right, clearly it is for Ether Tablet, and we just haven't found the book yet, right?
Yeah, or
Master
a glove,
sword
or a
for
flute.
Ether Tablet, and the glove to get up the mountain. And a lamp to get up the mountain. Oh, look, a glove. See? Gloved lamp, master sword. All we need is a book, and this is all ether tablet. Glove lamp mirror is pretty telling, though. I imagine we will see somebody die of Pendant Hera before Dark World access.
Green Pendant Hera at that. Well, unfortunately for Ack, he's going to be wasting a bit of time here. Didn't really need to gamble the race game today.
Refills his bombs, though. It makes sense, though, that he did it blind with how sparse Kakariko was. Feels a little more likely to find something on the race game, but, you know, just 2 bombs.
Yeah, I can tend to agree with you there. If I don't find anything super useful in Kakariko, I will just straight up gamble the race game in hopes of, you know, finding that one last potential thing that will save my Kakariko exploration value.
I like to do it blind just on principle, because I feel like in the early game, things that aren't progression items are still, they can be things that you want, like say like 100 rupees or 50 rupees or something, right? You know, I would have picked it up if I did it blind, but I'm not going to go back for it kind of thing. Megawott getting his Master Sword. While Ack goes and does the South Sword checks that Megawott already did. So we have divergence, but everybody's coming to the same head here. The change for this race is Fast Ganon. Ganon will only require 7 crystals. You will not have to kill Aga2. And with the early Master Sword, that pretty much kills all hope of seeing Ganon's Tower at all.
Yep, especially with that lamp, because that lamp will make the Ganon fight much easier, no matter what weapon you have.
Megawott checked the shovel, right? It was nothing?
The shovel was the glove.
Oh, right. So yeah, Megawatt's routing coming in pretty handy here, because it might be a minute before Ack goes to turn that glove in. Or to turn the shovel in for the glove.
Yeah, and not to mention that Megawatt could just head straight up from here to go up the mountain if he so chooses. But I lied, because he probably doesn't want to waste the time walking out of Blindsight.
Yeah, just saving Kit to Sanctuary here, having already done the Lost Wood checks. Quick back of the escape. Check real quick for Megawatt, though. Alright, Ack goes to Link's house. Are we doing the shovel first? Nope.
Yeah, this is interesting. Ack heading over to Eastern Palace. This is the one of the scariest decisions you have to make sometimes is, what, are you going to Eastern early or not in a open sea?
Sometimes I see people come over here just for Sahasrara and not go into Eastern afterwards, but it really depends on like what you find here. Like some bombs, and some arrows, and some bombs. Yeah, gotta go into Eastern now. Meanwhile, Megawatt headed up the mountain. With the mirror, he will be able to get to and full clear Green Pendant Tower of Hera. His routing just paying off a little bit, because even if he finds nothing here, he gets to turn in the Green Pendant while he goes over to Eastern like Ack is.
I'd just be curious to see if there's anything super valuable in Eastern that might open even more on Death Mountain, like the hammer or the hook shot, and Ack might actually gain a bit of an advantage from coming here early, but that remains to be seen.
Just a compass. Early Eastern is the bane of my existence. I would have thought the front of Escape looked a little more appealing, but Ack already having done the uncle checks, and then, you know, that threat of having to kill that one guy in that one tower kind of makes it less appealing than normal.
It looks like we got our last red crystal at Mr. Meyer, and our other two pendants are Skull Woods and Swamp.
How is it not Turtle Rock? But we have the ice rod. It should be Turtle Rock, right?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you know it's Randomizer after all.
Oh, we got a small key. No Harapot today.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know, Pendant, Swamp, and a fast gain and Seed.
Nice medallion there in Eastern, but it's not going to do much for now. Megawott having to do tile room here to get to this big key. It feels kind of bad because this is a pendant and like this is the kind of check you want to avoid in general. But this early in the game, you can't be passing up on Pendant Hera. Ack making his way to his last possible check here in Eastern Palace. So far, he's only found that one medallion. Ah, just a map. That feels so bad. Last item on the boss.
The only chance that medallion does anything is if both bows are somehow behind that Quake medallion.
Alright, Ack going to turn into a shovel now. He'll find those gloves and then probably head up to Hera. Megawatt's made it to the penultimate floor here. Gets a map for his trouble, and then a nifty little bomb jump. And a mail upgrade. Okay. I mean, that's nice, but where's the progression game?
Oh, he tried to go for the bumper skip there. It's a bit scarier without boots because you don't, instead of walking straight down, you kind of walk at a diagonal, and that tends to throw people off.
Gotta appreciate the tenacity of going for it again after he fell the first time. Three spins will do it. Moldorm is down. And he dropped a moon pearl.
Yep. It's not like hard to say that was pretty telegraphed that we need to come up here, but Megawatt sure does feel good that it did indeed work out to come and kill Moldorm.
Yeah, but what do you do now? Like, you could just go to the escape and say, it's an Agassi, let's just go for it. But he also has a Gina's Cave. Zora's in Logic now.
Yeah, and he hasn't gone over to Sahan Eastern yet.
Yeah.
He's going to go up to the castle, though. This is probably what I'd be doing, too, so can't blame him.
I mean, he may be intending only to do the escape, right, and not actually fight Aga, because he is just a hammer or a glove away from a different Dark World access.
No, yeah. I would be doing what Megawatt's doing. I would go ahead and check Uncle, check front of escape if you haven't already, and then go kill Aga, assuming that you don't get a hammer. Or mitts, but you get the point.
Yeah, my thinking though is like you put off coming to the escape for this long because you wanted to do this in one trip if you had to kill Aga, right? So if you come here and you find nothing in the escape, I think you just kill Aga. Like you just go for it, YOLO it, with other light world checks unchecked.
Yep, 100% what I'd be doing too. So we tend to think similarly here, and it's not hard to see why.
Yeah, I feel like if you were planning to last location Aga no matter what, then you just come to the escape earlier. The mirror will make this a little nicer of a trip, though, at least. Not having to death warp out.
Yes. Oddly enough, though, the red mail does not protect against these early guards here. They always do at least a half a heart of damage. All right, so something to note there. We already have the map and the small keys, so that does mean there is an item sitting in Dark Cross.
Yeah, he'll check that for sure. With the mirror, like it's never gonna get any better.
Hey, look, another piece of an Aga puzzle. I mean,
This
we already
happens
had the
way
pieces
too
anyway.
often. I can't. It's like 90% of the time, if it's an Aga seed, I find both the sword and the cape. And I've gone through the code and made sure that it doesn't require both. And there are seeds where you only find one, but it happens so often.
Okay, does Megawott do Dark Cross? He does. Like, if you're gonna skip it, that's I guess okay. If you don't plan on ever coming back to it, but if you're gonna do it, you may as well do it now.
Sometimes the seed forces you to do stuff like that to orphan a location to the point where it will always be the very last thing you ever do. But it's generally like a very risky strategy to do that on purpose, to create that situation yourself. So it does make a lot of sense to check Dark Cross here. And Megawatt's going Aga. Keep in mind, he hasn't been to Sahasrahla, he hasn't been to Eastern, Agina's Cave, or Zora. All of these Sphere 1, Sphere 2 checks are in logic, and he's going Aga 1.
Yeah, I can totally understand this. Because he has the mirror, he does not want to go over to Eastern when he could just as easily walk over to the pod area and mirror there. So it's like a double-edged sword here. If you do Aga and it's required, well, you did Aga and it's required, so you made the right call. Plus, you save a bit of routing expenditures here. You get to you don't have to double dip the Eastern area in a sense.
Yeah, and with this equipment, after he does kill Aga, he doesn't really have many places to go. He could like walk up to Catfish, but no hookshot to get over to West Dark World, no hammer to go to South Dark World. Pod and Eastern are the only things up.
Yeah, and you mentioned Catfish. I think it's slightly faster. But if you save and quit after checking Catfish, assuming you don't want to go and check Zora since you have the ability to, you can just hit the save and quit, and you'll end up on the pyramid again since you have the mirror.
Yeah, I don't think he'll check Zora. I mean, he might go to Catfish, but at this current rupee count, he would have to choose between either going into Pod or checking Zora.
Right, yeah. If he had maybe planned to get more rupees, he would be getting them, but so he's, yeah, like you said, he has to choose between one or the other.
Yeah, I think he just
He's
goes
almost
to
up the tower
straight
now.
to Pod. Yeah, I think he just goes straight to Pod here, following Aga. Alright, so Ack gets his Moon Pearl, but does he make the same play that Megawatt did? It's pretty standard strategy to put off Aga as long as possible, because killing and fighting Aga unnecessarily is a very significant time loss. But doing it early and it was required, you'd save a bunch of time. Looks like Ack's going for the fake flipper here.
I mean, we're kind of far along in the fight now already, so it may be too late to say go and put your guesses in chat how many blue balls we're going to get.
Kind of a precocious play from Ack here, because he has the same rupee problem that Megawatt has. If he buys Zora's item, he's going to be short rupees for entering Pod. He may get lucky and just find some rupees here in these few checks.
Okay.
He also has the option to check like the 50 rupee cave on the way to Agina or something, like if he really does want to last location Aga. Aga down.
All right, coming over to the pyramid, we got just a big 20. Yep, and as you said, he's going to go straight to Pod. It's understandable when you got so little left to do. You got Catfish, you got Zora, you got the Eastern area, got Saha, and you got Agina.
Yeah, this is a very dense location of the game for him right now, not having been here at all. Plus the green pendant. Meanwhile, Ack doing some fake flipper here. He's going to activate a water walk here in Waterfall Fairy to get these two checks out of logic. Heart container and a rupee. Aww. Megawatt. Megawatt. Turn in the pendant.
Usually
Please remember.
Okay,
Oh,
he
thank
remembers.
you. Okay, it's just a piece of heart. Alright, so Hasrla wasn't the answer to skipping Aga, but is Zora? No.
I mean, okay. Oh, okay. So what you saw there, Ack reset his game because he just saved and quit before it, so he could get his money back.
He doesn't miss out on that heart container though. Feels bad, man.
In fact, I think he had 6 hearts before he did that, so now he's back to 4.
Looks like he's gonna go turn in green pendant. He wants to be absolutely sure this is an Agassi before he goes for it. Unfortunately, this routing it this way is going to cost him a bit of time versus what Megawatt did. There is still Agina's cave. If Agina has the hammer or the mitt, then Akka's suddenly in the lead. Megawatt making his way through Palace of Keys.
Yeah, so far, he's gotten enough keys to go ahead and check the big key chest. This is the nicest way to route it. Thankfully, the layout is such. And after this, he'll drop down and check Stalfos' basement. If he gets at least 1 key here, he's not bow locked from the back.
That's such a weird way to think about it. I mean,
Okay.
it's true. Like that's exactly how it works. I think of it in like negative space, like how many keys weren't there rather than how many keys are there.
That is an interesting way to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, like how many non-small keys there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Megawatt, I'm guessing he doesn't know how to mimic clips, so he's just not going to bother with right side. No bottle to do the potion camera unlock anyway. So.
Gina, just 10 arrows. This is an Agaseed after all.
So Megawatt has established himself a pretty good lead here so far.
Yeah, it'd be pretty significant. And doing pod first, like he's gonna find either progression here in pod or on catfish. That's all we have left right now. So if it's in pod, maybe he doesn't even go into Eastern and saves that time. So far, not so good. Although he has made enough money back, he'll be able to buy Zora's item.
So we're just left with this dark maze and the catfish. What could be here? Let's see. Let's see what it is. We got nothing. Okay, come on.
It's the mid's like 90% chance. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's catfish. The big keys on the Bowlock side. Okay, so, well, Ack's gonna get some of his time back. Megawatt's gonna have to go through Eastern and find the Quake Medallion, but not much else here. On the whole, though, I mean, Megawatt still has the advantage here, definitely.
Yeah, as you can see, Ack is doing front of escape before Aga, just like Megawatt did. So Megawatt is not losing any of the time that he took to go down there. I love the freezing the guard and throwing it.
The meme kill! I mean, it's a pretty fast way to kill him.
I mean, yeah, you have the Master Sword, so 2 spins will do it, but it it does require a menu to move to the Ice Rods, so I'm not sure. It actually requires 2, since you have to menu to the mirror after you're done.
Yeah, I think he menued the Ice Rod for that, the boom chest, the blue guard in that room. Because for whatever reason, the Ice Rod one-shots blue guards. I don't know. Talk to the devs.
Yeah, and then it freezes the green guard, so it doesn't actually kill them. So you can't have the Ice Rod in your standard escape trawl.
So the blue rod kills blue guards, and the red rod kills red guards, and the green rod must kill green guards.
But what's the green rod? I've never heard of that
The
item.
poison rod. The earth rod? I don't know.
Also, how dare you not call them by their rightful name, Usain Bolt guards?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen anybody quake those ball and chain guards before. Didn't know they worked like that. Cool. They turn into little blobs like dead rocks do.
Yeah, Quake does that to a lot of enemies. Theoretically, Ack could have just done what Megawatt did and did a double Master Sword spin. He just opted to use a little bit of magic.
Alright, Megawatt has found nothing in Eastern, and now he's thinking, oh my god, it's either catfish or I have ruined everything by killing Aga. So,
Okay.
Probably going to go to catfish.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, going into the Dark World and saving and quitting after you've killed Aga with the mirror in your possession, you're back here on the pyramid.
So we know it has to be Catfish, but from Megawatt's point of view, it might also be a Gina or a Zora, which he hasn't seen yet.
Oh,
what
Ack just
happened
took a
to Ack?
death.
Did he die? Oh no!
Oh, he got comboed by the hole and a guard 1.0ing him. Wow.
No. Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the features of playing on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game is that things can hurt you while you're falling and have no way to defend yourself.
Yeah, it applies to every enemy, including those fireballs that are annoying, and including wall masters. So they can. When you're falling to Mothula, when you're falling to Mothula, you can get taken back to the beginning for no good reason at all.
Yeah, if you're not sure, you guys always wait out the wall master. Catfish with a bow. Oh no!
Why?
Wow, game. Wow. And Megawatt, the bow's not, like, it's not what he wanted at all. It does let him do Splash Delete here, though. Yeah, so Megawatt uses 3 arrows and 2 bombs to put too many things on the screen for the game to have room to spawn the splash that keeps you from swimming. So he just gets to swim. So that's convenient.
So, much to the chagrin of both players, they will probably feel really bad about this. The fact that they went into Eastern and could have full cleared it in one go had they just gone to Catfish first. Like anyone would with a normal mind would do that, but still.
I don't think Ack's gonna be too upset about the Eastern play because, like, from his point of view, like it was either Eastern or Aga, right? But the pod play, if he ends up going to pod before Catfish like Megawatt does, that feels really bad. I think Ack's a little more likely to do Catfish first, having already done the Zora checks. It's not like Catfish is going to get much better than it is right now, but pod is a much more dense location.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Megawatt, because that big key was bow locked, he's gonna have to choose. I feel like he's gonna choose to do Helmasaur over going back to the big chest if he doesn't find the map prior, because there are 2 non-small key items over on the bow lock side.
He's gonna do both regardless. The both dungeons are crystals. He can full clear both now.
No, I'm talking about in pod if he goes back in there.
Yeah, he's gonna go back in pod. Why would he not be? It's a crystal.
Oh right. Okay.
Oh, the hammer. You're right.
Doesn't have hammer, right?
Hammer.
Yeah.
I forgot about
that. We're thinking too far in advance here.
The hammer is a thing.
Man, who knew that little moles in the ground were just so impossible to walk by without some mallet?
All right, so this is Ack's moment of truth. Catfish or pod? Oh, he's going Catfish! All right, this is huge for Ack because he is going to get to do pod in one go. Or at least he'll be able to check the big chest in one go. But yeah, he is quite a bit behind right now, so this is definitely something he needs.
Yeah, he probably feels like he needs to do something like this since he died in Aga Tower on his way up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, going to Catfish made more sense for him than it did for Megawatt, because like Megawatt had like the rupee concern, where Ack doesn't have that because he already did Zora. So Ack finds a bow and he's like, okay, it's cool game. Oh, Megawatt unfortunately missing his bow shot. Having to wait for the second cycle there. But there is an item on Armos, and there's at least one item that we can get in Pod. I'm not actually sure. All right, time for Armos. Megawatt going for his top right lineup here. 5 arrows right and the rest down.
And that tells us that I do believe that big chest or right side of pod has the next progression item.
Hopefully the hammer, but I think Mitz is probably slightly more likely. The game always gives me Mitz when I don't want him. Man, if it's not the hammer, that means Megawatt has to triple dip the Sunjin. Never feels good.
Getting rid of these pesky little mimics, especially that red one, which you gotta either shoot with a bow or clip it off the screen or whatever you gotta do. Send it to its home planet.
Mimics don't have souls.
Oh,
Hammer.
oh!
Right. He doesn't have to triple dip, you guys. That's good. This does mean the Ack will get to single dip Palace of Darkness.
All right, so now it's just down to does Helmasaur have the last item, or does the big chest have the last item?
Yeah, just one item in the dungeon. I mean, you go for the boss first, definitely, because you have to kill the boss either way.
And just like that, Acktheboker's probably gained a significant amount of time. He's still behind because he still has to go beat Eastern after this, but he's gained quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and the hammer does give us like normal Dark World access now, access to South and West Dark World. So there's no guarantee that we're going to even find progression in here, but we do want to find that last item before we leave.
Yeah, so after this, we have East Death Mountain. We have most of the rest of the Dark World now without Mitz. Yeah, that's a lot. Where do you go next?
Probably standard play is just go Village of Outcast, full clear, Thieves Town, Crystal Dungeon. You can full clear. Always a reasonable decision, but definitely not the only one. East Death Mountain is a lot of checks. I don't see them doing that though, because they have to like climb up to Hera again, and like doing that multiple times in a seed is really gross.
Yeah, I see what Ack is doing here, going straight to Helmasaur first in case there is nothing in the back, or there's something on Helmasaur that might incentivize him just to skip the rest of the back, or he could already have made up his mind to just go to the back after this anyway. Either way, there's Helmasaur down.
Of course. Last item in the big chest. Megawatt can go back for it. It's a pretty... It's doesn't feel good to go back in this dungeon for the third time just for one chest. Especially after you get the hammer and you have access to so much. I would not be surprised to see him skip it. And he's skipping it. Looks like he's going to Hype Cave for his adventures in the Dark World.
Yeah, going for the density over dungeons right off the bat.
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes you might see...
He'll be routing west from here with the mirror and just walk up through Kakariko to re-enter the Dark World there for Thieves Town.
Oh yeah, I guess he could do that too. I was gonna say he might do this and just go straight to Thieves Town, but considering he's beaten Aga, he would have to walk out of the cave and mirror, or do what you were saying.
Hype Cave, not very helpful today. So Ack is going back into Pod. He'll get these items in the back that he hasn't seen yet. And he will be able to get the last item in the dungeon that we haven't seen yet because of Megawatt skipping that big chest. This is kind of it's a make it or break it chest. If it is major progression that doesn't lock very much, Ack is going to have an amazing lead because Megawatt's going to take forever to go back to it. More likely, it's just 20 rupees.
Well, there's our first bottle off the Stumpy right there. That's a refreshing to see, because he can just, when he's going up to the village, he can just walk right by him and turn it in.
I get it. Refreshing because you drink it.
Yeah, see, I wasn't going to say anything, but you decided, okay.
Nice tempered sword. It's a very nice item because he's has blind coming up. And the Master Sword, it takes 9 hits to kill blind, but with the Tempered Sword, it only takes 9 hits to kill blind.
God, it's no sarcasm in that at all, yeah. Alright, while Megawatt's digging up some fun, we're coming up on that big chest. So,
alright, I can't wait.
Yeah, drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. It's
Bombos.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Why?
Okay. So this might be important. We don't actually have any way to know whether or not it's important, but if it is important, Ack is in a huge lead right now. If it's not important, it's not a big deal. And there's 3 different reasons that Bombos could be important. It might be required for Mire, it might be required for Turtle Rock, it might be required for Ice Phallus. It might also do nothing. Only time will tell.
Man, when a seed gets me to say why with just the most frantic sounding voice ever, you know it's a bad seed.
I mean, it's not a bad seed. Megawatt just skipped a chest. And he did it on purpose. I mean, he'll only have himself to blame. It was a reasonable skip, but that's a dangerous one. This comes back to what I was saying before about how, like, you should avoid creating the situation yourself where you are going to last location something. The game's going to do that to you often enough, so to do it yourself is really tilting. But it's not over till it's over, right? Like, there's definitely outs here. The Bombos might not be required at all, or it might lock so much progression that Megawatt just goes to Pod real quick and gets it anyway. Ack nailing his top right. Down goes Armos, picking up his second crystal just behind Megawatt. Oh, I see. Now we have all 3 medallions.
Yeah, so now it's just a matter of, is the Fire Rod an Ice Palace, or do you need Bombos to open one of the 2 medallion dungeons?
Yeah, and all 3 of those checks will require the mitts, and we haven't found those yet. But we already got French Vanilla Hammer. Why not French Vanilla Mitts? Let's go Thieves Town. Thieves Town, you are disappointed.
We haven't even gotten the rest of the items yet. Calm down there.
Every chest that doesn't have progression is a time loss, as far as I'm concerned. See, it was just a bottle. You could have skipped that chest, Megawatt. Come on. That one too? Aww. And it looks like Ack will be doing the same route that Megawatt chose. Doing Hype Cave and then mirroring over after Dig Game. But this does give us a clear picture as the difference between them so far. Not that they're doing the same checks. Ack has checked Agina's and Megawatt hasn't, but otherwise, this is just the south route. The time it takes Ack to do this south route, that's the difference between them. Megawatt taking a few hits through this dungeon, but not really a big concern when you're wearing red mail. Even these grasshoppers, which are normally very dangerous, do half a heart of damage. As Megawatt finds out.
Coy being very vindictive about Thieves Town today.
What did I do? I didn't do nothing. We're the mitts, man. Thieves Town's supposed to give us the mitts. So you might have seen Megawatt look to the right after he exited that staircase there. That's to set up a little stairlight cancel so that you can walk south through the spikes without getting hit. He looked like he walked a little bit too far and got bumped a little bit. Just a nifty little time save.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight little window trying to get through there. I
think it's like maybe like 2 or 3 frames.
So the small key is in the big chest today, thanks to process of elimination.
So mitts on blind. At this point, it's looking a lot more like East Death Mountain. But that's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Megawatt checked Sea House yet. He's probably looking to do that on his way up. Megawatt not doing the script, so this
is really surprising to me because I think of Megawatt as being like a really high caliber player, and like everybody knows the blind script, but Megawatt gets it down regardless. The blind script not necessary when you're good at the game,
or when you have red mail.
Yeah, that helps.
So we got Front of Skull Woods, we got Bumper Cave, we got Graveyard Ledge, we got East Death Mountain. Megawatt debating what to do there for a second. Sea House.
Thought about saving quitting, but hey, look, there's a check here I haven't done yet.
Megawatt. No, Megawatt. Why? Why'd you do that? He's gonna have to mirror again.
Yeah. Oh, right, I killed that guy. We've all been there, folks. So, given his options, all that's really left for him is going up the mountain. But he... Oh, we already went the mountain, right? So we're just saving quitting the mountain cave and going up to Hera once again, but this time crossing that bridge. He could have gone to Skullwoods and Graveyard Ledge, but those kind of suck. Ack making his way through Thieves Town, but unfortunately he's not going to find anything here. All eyes on Megawatt. Did he check Sick Kid?
Yeah, he walked by Sick Kid. Are you talking about Ack or Megawatt?
Megawatt.
Yeah, Megawatt walked by Sick Kid on his way to the Dark World. He got his
right.
red shield.
Sometimes it's hard not to project. Oh, that was a fire rod.
Well, there's something we definitely need.
So fire rod does rule out bombos being required for ice, at least.
Yeah, that is one thing that Megawatt will not have to worry about now. Of course, I had the feeling that we're probably going to get Mitts over here just because it opens up so many things. Or a mushroom, you know, that works too.
I don't know why you didn't say mushroom. Mushroom was clearly way more likely, right? This game, though.
I don't even know anymore. I just don't even know.
No, I agree with you entirely. Like, your most likely progression is always going to be the thing that opens up the most locations. And right now, that is the Titan Smiths.
The one thing left on the mountain that both runners could still do is Spike Cave. Remains to be seen if Megawatt wants to do that or not.
And it is totally in logic. Who knows? Maybe that's why they gave us the cape and the Master Sword.
Well, that cane's nice, and that sword, but those don't open anything. Okay, so by the looks of it, Megawatt is going to head over to Spike Cave at this point.
Yeah, Spike Cave definitely the play here. The cane does give us the option to fake powder, I guess. But, nah, I don't see him doing that.
So I guess at this point, it's probably worth going over what we still are looking for officially. We may not need that hook shot. Swamp is a pendant. We technically may not need the flippers because Swamp is a pendant and Ice is a crystal, but there's ways around that. And we need the flute for sure. And we need to find the mitts somewhere.
Yeah, flute mitts for sure, and maybe boots.
Yeah, and boots is the last thing for desert or anything that may be locked behind the boots and other boots checks.
And Megawatt might need that bombos. Just barely making it for a piece of heart. Megawatt's play up the mountain, not really paying off. We did find some stuff, but nothing that does anything right now. And he has no choice but to save and quit and mirror once again, and then save and quit again.
Yeah, I give
always forget Agassi, guys.
I always I give him grace for the whole Spike Cave thing because there's pretty much no other option but to save and quit from there if you have low health and no boot.
Yeah, unfortunately, Megawatt is out of checks here. He has to go back to Skullwoods and or Graveyard Ledge. And going into Skullwoods now feels really annoying because you just saw the fire rod too. But then Graveyard Ledge really isn't any better because without boots or mitts,
Megawatt.
Mitts, dude.
Megawatt.
There you go. Okay, without boots or mitts, you have to go to Graveyard Ledge the slow way where you have to cut down like 50,000 bushes and walk through 4 ropas.
Yeah, so Acktheboker going ahead and go up to Skullwoods now. Gaining even more time on Megawatt, it seems.
Yeah, this will probably be pretty significant, Act doing these checks first. He's being a little more thorough in his overall checkings here. And it's going to lead to progression. Just, not in that chest. Try a different one. There they are.
Wow.
Fire Rod locked behind front of Skullwoods. So Megawatt going after this vanilla big key chest first. He does this because of the B31 change with Pinball Room, not guaranteeing you the small key anymore. Coming to the middle of the dungeon first guarantees that you can find a small key, just in case the key layout's really terrible.
Seemed to me that Ack decided to skip out on checking the vanilla big key chest of Skullwoods for now. Which we know is, the right play at this moment, but that's kind of interesting that he would skip out on it.
Checked it too fast. Did you see the ledge?
It was a piece of heart or something useless.
Ack not walking over to Graveyard Ledge. It seems the mitts are good enough. We are out of here.
Yeah, at this point, those mitts only unlock the Smith Chain, the Hammer Pegs, and I believe Super Bunny Cave, and that Fire Rod.
Looks like Ack's going to go after Smith's sequence here. He may be planning to walk the purple chest up to Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, that is a possibility. He could just save and quit once he grabs the purple chest upon leaving Graveyard Ledge. But we'll see what he does.
So Megawatt finds his mitts, and he knows about the fire rod being up on the floating island, but it does not feel great to go all the way back up to Hera once again just to go over there and get the fire rod. And the only thing the fire rod does is get you one more item in Skullwoods, which is a pendant. So I don't think he's going to immediately go back up for that fire rod. Just a piece of heart in Hammer Pegs. And just a heart container in Graveyard Ledge. Which is, yep, it looks like Axe headed up to Graveyard Ledge with his purple chest. He forgot something, Megawott. Oh, man. It's probably just me projecting, but Megawatt does seem a little frazzled.
No, that's perfectly reasonable. I mean, seeing that he knows that he's probably made all the wrong plays, and that he knows it, seeing the fire up there, not getting anything up on East Death Mountain.
Mushroom also just 20 rupees. So we got these mitts, but what do they do for us? Beside this fire rod. It might be Turtle Rock, honestly. Yeah, going back up the mountain. I didn't think about Turtle Rock at the time.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is now, if it doesn't require bombos.
Plus it's bombos! Bombos, of course, you guys, was in the big chest of Palace of Darkness. Megawatt had to double dip the dungeon because the big key was bow locked. And he gambled on the last item being on the boss, and when he found out it was actually in the big chest, he said, nah, I don't need that.
Oh no, oh no.
Acktheboker, turning in the purple chest, finds the magical ocarina, the flute, the duck releaser.
So now we're going to be able to find out what the Meyer medallion is too.
We get all our information all at the same time. It was great. Yeah, unfortunately that Bombos medallion is so incredibly orphaned for Megawatt. It's going to be a very long time before he goes to get that.
All right, here is chance one for Megawatt to be in real big trouble. What is it? Oh,
we're safe.
That's one.
We're safe.
We're safe for one.
All right, only one more opportunity for that Bombos to be required, and Act's going to show us that real soon, I think.
I never did think about this, but there is the possibility we still need Hook anyway, even though Squamp is a pendant.
Oh, from Meyer.
Wouldn't that be a kick in the teeth?
Yeah, he's feeling pretty amazing. Oh, Act's going to Meyer area. Okay, this is what we want to see.
Megawatt just gonna get nothing but his fire rod up here. All right, what is it? Tell us what we need to know, game. Tell us what we need to know. Act Y.
Act, please. Okay.
I don't think he checked it, as far as I can tell.
He jumped in the water to get iframes.
I mean, I know that for him it doesn't matter what it is since he has everything, but for us it matters.
Yeah, we need to know. He's not gonna check it. Oh my gosh. How could you do this?
All right, here's Megawatt's fire rod. He's going to be going straight into Turtle Rock. He's going to be able to full clear it, thankfully for him. So no worries there.
Well, Ack will give us some other information anyway. It's Desert Boots locked. Nope.
Oh.
No, it is not. This is not Boots locked. Ack will be able to full clear desert.
But can you even beat Ganon without the Cane of Burna?
Let me get back to you on that one.
Oh,
These
okay.
guys can. Maybe I can't.
All right. Well, if you know your Turtle Rock logic, that Megawatt does indeed need that fire rod to progress any further in Turtle Rock. And thankfully, it was, right next door. Megawatt being smart and remembering that without the hook shot, you got to go around the long way.
Shaking off that frazzle. Second item on the boss. Act is to the right side of the desert for no items.
Yeah, that always feels bad. All right, well, we got a vanilla big key situation over here in Turtle Rock.
Oh, you're still the chain chomp test.
No, we only found one small key in the front.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you only get one small key in the front and no big key or second small key or a third small key sometimes, the big key is vanilla.
My usual strategy is to not pay any attention at all, and then check my menu right before I would open the door to the big key chest. Although it doesn't really matter in this situation because, like, we're not in go mode. He's just gonna open everything no matter what. Igor, please. Alright, we get to see some fun Lambo strats here. Ack's gonna use the ice rod to freeze these guys to death. It's a little awkward, though, to do it with the ice rod because the projectile is so slow. Finishes it out with a 3-cycle and gets the other bow.
That's nice to see. That's a required pickup, basically, at this point, since we have to pick it up to get the crisp.
Can't skip that one. Okay, you're gonna check the medallion now. Do it. Do it, Ack.
What is it?
He's not
Come on.
check it. He's just gonna go to checkerboard cave. Not even gonna look at
Oh,
it.
you tease.
Why do you hate us, Ack? You're not the only one here, okay, buddy? Think of the fans.
Granted, we know the reason why he doesn't bother checking it. Well, now he needs to check it. He definitely has to check it now.
No, he won't. Unless he's going inside without the cane, which I don't know why he would.
He's gonna check it. He's gonna go check it for us. What is it? Oh, there's the book in the big chest.
You're gonna go to Meyer without the cane?
Oh boy.
Crazy.
What is it? What is it? It's ether.
It's ether. Okay. All right, we got a race. Bombos not required. Megawatt is not at all going to be punished for skipping that chest.
So who's the real galaxy brainer here?
Axe routing.
All right.
Except for this Meyer dip without the cane.
Oh yeah. Because of how Ack has routed this, he has not gone up the mountain yet with those mitts, and he has not seen where the fire rod is and the cane. So this is going to be a wasted time here.
The fire rod and the hook shot are the two things he'd like to find before going up the mountain. Like I was saying before, like going up to Tower of Hera again when there's a possibility that the hook shot's available somewhere does feel really bad. And then when he does get up there, he's looking at Turtle Rock, but he doesn't have the Cane of Samaria or the fire rod.
I guess the one good thing about this for Megawatt is that he won't have to climb the mountain again after this.
Yeah, this is everything. Well, I mean, Hookshot Cave is still a thing.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave is still a thing, but if you look right now, we actually don't need anything else.
Yeah, with that, we're done. We're done! That's neat.
Yeah, you might argue, well, we need flippers for logical access. We're like, we don't like flippers here. We don't like to talk about flippers.
Logic? I never heard of it. How does that work?
So, if I'm Megawatt, I avoid Ice Palace until go mode because, you know, you're looking for maybe only flippers here. And you know you need an entry point to Meyer, obviously. Which you'll get that by Meyer. So, of course, he does have to make the call to go to Purple Chest soon.
Yeah, I think when you're choosing between... Oh, stop it, Megawatt, please. Or do you have to choose between doing Smith sequence or, you know, sequence breaking ice? Ice really doesn't look that bad.
I think he has that fairy, so he's going to get revived here.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just slow to keep falling over and over again. Walk skips are not the easiest thing in the world. They're not that much harder than dash skips, though. It's just you don't get as much practice with walk skips as you do with dash skips.
Yeah, the way I like to do it is basically when I'm walking downwards, I'll just walk without stopping, and when the laser's firing, I'll stutter for a brief second, and that will guarantee that I skip the laser.
Yeah, you can just do a little stutter step as you're walking across. It's not like brand new. It's been around for a while, but it was discovered long after so many people have been playing the game for so long. So a lot of the more experienced players aren't even aware that that's a thing, and they have put so much practice into doing the time it strategy with that you saw Megawatt do there, where he stands at the corner and waits for the shot. One of those, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of things, right?
Yeah. You saw there, the cane is a bit annoying in Turtle Rock sometimes. You like to jump the gun a bit, and sometimes that makes you fall before the cane platform appears.
That's the cost of being too fast. Just slow it down, you guys, all right? Just take your time.
There's the magic powder in Meyer.
Yeah, unfortunately, no vanilla cane today for Ack. He'll have to come back to Meyer later.
So for Megawatt, he doesn't have access to the Meyer area. Logically, he doesn't have access to Ice Palace or Desert Palace. I guess I meant to add that on with... No, he has the book. He could go to Desert if he wants to. I lied.
Yeah, I think he probably goes to Desert here and goes to full clear that. But, Desert's not going to have anything. And then what do you do, right? He'll have to choose between, okay, so I go do these Smith sequence, which might just be the flippers, or I go to Crystal Ice out of Logic, which is a horrible dungeon to full clear.
He's going to be checking out Ether Tablet here as well, because he grabbed that book. And after that, he's going to be heading back down, and we'll see what his next play is.
Meanwhile, Ack is avoiding the mountain like a plague because he wants to have both the Fire Rod and the Cane of Samaria before he goes up there. Little does he know they're both up there. Oh, the hook shot will lead him back over there. It's a lot nicer to go up the mountain now. Because not only can you get Hookshot Cave, but it's also a faster way to get there. One last fetch quest for Ack, though.
Alright, Megawatt is going to be doing Bombo's Tablet in the desert here by the looks of it. This is... Without those boots, he's losing time here and there. It's looking like Ack will have the advantage here coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it really it comes down to which happens first, like Megawatt getting the flute off Purple Chest, or Ack going up the mountain and finding his cane and Fire Rod. And like Ack going to a place that has like 20 item locations, or Megawatt going to a slow 3 checks. I think Ack has the advantage here. Ack still doesn't want to go to the mountain. Come on, man.
I think he realized he doesn't have flippers.
Was he gonna do Swamp?
Oh my goodness, Ack. What are you doing, man?
No, don't do this. Ack, please. Go to the mountain, dude. Oh. No, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because he wants the Fire Rod and the Cane of Samaria before he goes up the mountain. And, how often do you see Fire Rod locked behind Bombus and Ice? It's probably not the best call for the situation, but it's definitely a very reasonable call. Just another chance for Megawatt to make his way to Smith sequence, though.
So I guess the next question is, how much time does Ack spend in here looking for things?
I don't know. I feel like if you're coming in here at this point, you're full clearing. because it's fast cannon, right? Like sometimes you might see somebody do this and they like pseudo go mode it, expecting to find progression somewhere else, but you know they just want to get this out of the way before they go up the mountain because their last dungeon's crystal TR. But with fast cannon, that's not a concern. Like you could have done this dungeon at any time. So I think this is probably going to be a full clear for Ack.
All right, Megawatt getting the good news that he does not have to worry. Oh, wow. Smart. A very, very efficient time save here from Megawatt. He's completely bypassing everything else in here. It's gonna be the right play, whether he knows it or not, but he's gonna be able to skip the rest of Desert with that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that we didn't see Ack do this when he was here. Like, you already know where one item is, the other one might just be on the boss, and then you can skip the entire dungeon.
Sometimes I like to go ahead and check the big chest if there is a small key on the torch. But if there's not, I'll tend to think about skipping it.
Oh, Ack, no! Unfortunately, taking a fall there after doing the bomb jump respawns you at the beginning of the room and you have to do it again.
That's one of the worst feelings in Ice Palace, aside from dying to Cold Stare and having to do the dungeon again.
Don't remind me.
Man, I might be giving some people PTSD.
I mean, they're pretty well equipped though for not just Cold Stare, but anything this game can throw at them. 3-4 swords with red mail. Yeah, there is no danger left.
That Lambo fight not going super well so far, but he will clean it up in a second cycle, thanks to that butter sword.
Yeah, it's still did it faster than Ack did. And this is full clear routing for Ack going over to the right side here. Of course, we know he's not going to find anything. Not even the flippers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what he could find here that neither... Yeah, the only thing he could find here is a mirror shield, you know?
Oh, the blue boomerang? No, we have that too.
We have that, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, just the mirror shield.
The fourth bottle, there you go.
Okay.
Oh boy, Megawatt's making his way.
Like Smith sequence.
As long as he doesn't go back into Skull Woods, because he got one item out of there, and he's probably less inclined to go up there when there's more checks down below him.
He has the book now, so like Skull Woods maybe looks a little more appealing because you can mirror and check the pedestal as well. But it is a very slow one check. All right, he's going south. That's good.
All right, so this will, if he goes down here, yep, this will get him his flute after he turns that purple chest in. So the timer is probably running now on Acktheboker.
Yeah, this may be enough for Megawatt to take the lead. It's a little hard to tell at this point. Because like likely what happens is Ack kills Cold Stare and then goes up the mountain and finds Go Mode's TR, then goes back and finishes Meyer. Megawatt, meanwhile, does the Smith sequence, gets his flute, activates the flute, finds his Go Mode in the boots, and then Go Mode's Meyer and Ice.
Yeah, so one. Yeah. The only thing I don't agree with is just going to Ice when it's not in Logic yet. That's the only thing I don't agree with.
Well, I mean, you're just skipping the flippers, though. And I mean, the flippers are only like hard required for Swamp. So like the idea here is, well, what if the flippers are the thing on the mountain, which is likely, and then the Fire Rod is in ice, which is also likely. That's Ack's thought process here.
Yeah, I'm just probably more in the school of thought of what if flippers are go mode mentality. Which of course we don't need
that's the
them.
thing about rando. Like you have to make a gamble at some point. You can't you can't just sit there and do nothing. You got to make a decision, and one decision's as good as another sometimes.
All right, so Megawatt probably gonna come check Bumper Cave here, or he's gonna go to Skull Woods. Oh boy.
Yeah, what are you doing, Megawatt? Exactly.
You can't take this inside.
Yeah, you can't. It's not gonna let you.
This isn't entrance, but and either way, it's not the Smith anyway. I suppose if he wants to check the pad, maybe I understand. I don't know. It's just
If he kills the boss, it kills the chest. He has to go get the chest again.
does it though? I thought it was only if you got a crystal, but I could be wrong.
Oh, is it just crystal? I'm not sure now that you say that, because I don't route it like this.
Well, I guess the
Alice
thing
telling us it is only crystals. Oh, and the maiden in Thieves' Town apparently. Okay, all right, so he's safe with the purple chest then.
Well, that's gonna waste even more time.
Oh, and he's going after the boss. So he knows there's one more item in this dungeon. It's either at the big chest or on the boss, and he just found the big key. Meanwhile, Ack has made it to the mountain. He will find Canis Maria here. He will find the fire rod, and that will be go mode. Down goes Mothula for Megawatt, and he does get the second item, which is the better of the situation here. And Axe sees the fire, and he's like, ooh, that's pretty. He knows that is go mode for Acktheboker. He didn't check PED. That's interesting. Oh, we would lose the chest, you're right. Now he's checking PED. Oh my gosh. Where was this thoroughness earlier, Megawatt? Alright, Acktheboker mirroring to grab his fire rod. And now he knows all he has to do. Go mode TR, go back and finish off Vitreous, and then go kill Ganon.
Yep, Ack is now in flipperless go mode, if you want to be technical about it. And at that point, I say forget it, because he's already beaten Ice Palace.
Meanwhile, Megawatt does find his flute from the guy in the desert. Unfortunately, that's not go mode quite yet for Megawatt. He still needs access to Mire, either boots or hookshot, but the flute will lead him to the boots pretty quick. And if I remember correctly, it was vanilla Big Key in TR, so not super convenient dungeon to go mode.
Yeah, and because of the, I don't know if you, I guess I might have missed this, but yeah, the big key logic will force him to go to the big chest.
Do we remember where the Big Key in Mire is?
That's a good question. I remember where the powder was. I could tell you where that was.
Oh, that's a risky place to deactivate your cape, but Ack avoids the soft lock. It's a nifty little glitch, though. If your cape deactivates while you're going through the doorway like that, it puts you in this weird state where you can't move in the way that you want to move, and you have to mirror to fix it. Free ball in the chain chomp room is Acktheboker. He didn't get bit, though.
All right, and here comes Megawatt's go mode. The boots.
Da boots! Gotta go fast.
He's like, give me those, get out of my way, blocks, disappear.
Not the go mode I would pick if I got to choose what my go mode item was, but definitely a welcome sight for Megawatt. 2 dungeons to go. He gets to go mode Ice as well, which is a huge advantage over Ack, who full cleared it. And go moding Mire, which Ack is going to have to double dip. And like you're saying, the key layout here in Turtle Rock is kind of forcing Ack to go over to the big chest. He could skip it. Like, it's not guaranteed to be a small key, but it's very, very dangerous to do that. Well, the big key wasn't in the first chest. Or the second. So that's good news for Ack, that it's not a God Mire. Megawatt heading over to the torches room, the top torches room. It's always good to check this one before the lobby chest outside, because if this one is the big key, you're done, and if it's a small key, then you know where the big key is. And this time it was the big key, so Megawatt will be able to continue on and fight Vitreous.
Yeah, and thank you to Megawatt for reminding us where that big key was.
Axe down to a single heart here. Ugh.
A single 2 hearts, even.
Oh, 2 hearts, yeah. I was thinking getting hit by the laser and then knocked off, that you die in 1 hit.
Yeah, that would definitely do it there.
That's how my brain operates sometimes.
I think he also has that fairy still.
I think there's a hard lock if you get killed while falling, like the 1.0, and you get revived by a fairy. I think that breaks the game. I'm pretty sure it does.
Acktheboker showing us the 0-cycled Trinex. Nicely done.
Yeah, there's a big health difference between the runners right now. It's mostly the Zora area. Ack found a bunch of heart containers when he was walking to Zora, but because rupees were such a big concern, he ended up hard resetting to get his rupees back and lost out on like 3 or 4 heart containers.
Yeah, so Acktheboker does have a lead here. He will have a much faster time getting through Meyer, and after that, all he has to do is go fight Ganon. And in fact, after he's done fighting Vitreous, he can just simply save and quit and be right at the pyramid drop down. Well, I guess you don't have to worry about the mystery of where those flippers could have been.
Go! What a seed. Don't need to fake flipper. We got the real flippers. Megawatt narrowly avoiding the jingle glitch there. If you transition down that staircase as the door is opening on the way back from killing the 3rd enemy in that room, it will despawn every sprite in the dungeon. You'll have to mirror out to fix it. So you might have noticed he waited for just half a second there before going down that stairs. Ack with a definite lead here, even not getting spooky. Ice is a pretty quick dungeon to go mode, but Ack is already on his way to Vitreous.
Megawatt having a little bit of trouble here with the bomb jump. Gets it there, though.
He picked up the bomb! No!
Actually, he may not have been far enough to the left. I could be wrong.
Ack finding his flippers. Oh, that amuses me so much.
So yeah, it looks like you were forced to pick up flippers as your go mode today, logically. And
Yeah.
it's like we didn't even have to worry about them in the first place, almost.
And like you were saying before, the benefit of having done AGA 1. Just save and quit from the Dark World with the mirror, and oh look, the Ganon hole.
So yeah, Ack has about a minute lead here on Megawatt, and we'll be looking to see Ack finish up here, assuming he doesn't do anything stupid.
Like, died again, man. Oh my gosh. He does have a fairy. He's fine. Well, despite everything that happened, and I mean, Megawatt not even ending up finding the hook shot. Like, this is still pretty close. He'll be in his Ganon fight before Ack finishes. And anything could happen. Oh, misses a torch glitch. Not the biggest deal with silvers, though.
Down goes Ganon on Axe side. Get your GGs in chat.
GG.
With that, Acktheboker will be moving on in this tournament to the round of 32 against Gamachu.
Well, that's not what he wants to hear. Hey, you won! Grats! You're so good at the game. Now go play against Gamachu. No thanks.
Should be getting Ack in here shortly. Meanwhile, Megawatt is skewering that pig with some silvers.
Oh, hi, Ack. How you doing? GG.
And Megawatt takes down the pig. Get your GGs in chat for Megawatt, everyone.
GG Megawatt.
All right, before we go on here, I'd like to go ahead and say that Megawatt is going to decline interview today. Can understand. But nonetheless, we do have Acktheboker in the comm booth with us. How did you feel about that? How do you feel going on?
I don't know. I think I'm ready to go back to sleep. I'm surprised I even made it awake for this one. I don't know. I don't feel like this went very well for me, but luckily in the series with Megawatt, he just can't find the flute. That wouldn't be the last one too. That's unfortunate.
There was a moment in time where you had this potential ginormous lead because of the Bombos medallion. Megawatt ended up orphaning the big chest with how he routed pod. And it took forever, but eventually we found all three locations that could have required Bombos and they weren't required.
Oh, okay, so he went to
pod before
Pod,
Catfish, and then he did the boss and said he's not going back in for one item.
Right, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that would have been really bad.
Yeah, if Bombos is required for Ice, Mire, or TR, you would have won by like 30 minutes or something ridiculous. Luckily for Megawatt, it wasn't required, but so we had a close race in the end.
Probably wouldn't have been that much, because all he would have had left to do was Swamp, but yeah, that would have been pretty bad. Yeah. I need to figure out a way to get to the Dark World faster. I have a tough time with that one.
Well, it's hard when you have the gloves and no bow, right? Because like your options are, okay, so I go into pod and I have to do a mimic clip or just not do the bowlock side, or I can go to Catfish. That's it. That's all I got. So I think from your position, it made a lot of sense to try and last location Aga.
Yeah, it was really the cape that kind of threw me off there too. Normally you usually get like, tempered lamp or cape and lamp, and I just had MS, so given that the lamp and glove and all that was pretty much required early to get your pearl, it almost felt like maybe a hammer or some mids were around somewhere, but they weren't. And if I would have had that cape, I probably would have pulled the trigger on Aga a little bit quicker, but I did back of escape last.
Yeah, Megawatt did pull the trigger on Aga quite earlier than you did, not even going over to Eastern and Sahasrahla. So he had a pretty significant lead coming into the Dark World, probably like a minute or two ahead of you.
Yeah.
But it all came down to that one decision. You went to Smith Sequence and got that flute, which ended up with much nicer routing. Although you tried to throw it away just by going to Ice Palace, but it wasn't enough.
I think Ice Palace was the right thing to do until I got the hook shot. Then I probably should have canceled that plan, but I mean, I think after I did Bonk Rocks, like the next thing I was going to do was ice, and then I got the hook shot, and I didn't cancel my plans. So
Yeah, it was a little uncomfortable. The Dark Death Mountain, because like you really want to have Cane and Fire Rod, so you can be sure you're gonna full clear Turtle Rock on your first time up there.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna go to the mountain though when you found that hook shot. But I still feel like ice was definitely like a reasonable call, even if it wasn't like the best call.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely not very good in this one.
Well, yeah, for this scene, it was the worst call you could have done. What were you thinking, Acktheboker? Come on.
It's okay.
Clearly.
If it's any consolation, I think the whole time I was in ice, I was like, I really shouldn't be here right now. But whatever. If you're gonna make a decision, you gotta go through with it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and, at least I knew there was basically no way in hell I was going back to the mountain again. And it's fast gaining too. You got to think about that. Also, you don't have to make that extra trip up the mountain to get to GT. So it's nice to know whenever you go to the mountain, you won't have to go back.
Yeah.
And I just found just enough to get to skip a good portion of the checks on there. And I mean, that's a pretty significant amount of time too.
Yeah, you get to skip Chuck Cave and Super Bunny.
And Spiral.
And Spiral, yeah, it's a big one.
And Spoke. And Ether Tablet. All that adds up, I guess.
Well, at the end of the day, you have won 2-0 against Megawott, and you're going on to face against Gamachu. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
I wouldn't feel good at all. Not even like a little bit, but
I don't know. I really haven't even felt good in this since qualifiers, but I'm just gonna turn off my chat, just sit in my room and play a seed by myself. I mean, Gamachu might be really good at the game, but it's just me in my room playing, Zelda by myself. So I'll just try to do the best I can.
Yeah, and definitely an interesting dynamic to this game. It's a single player game that we're playing competitively.
I can take consolation in being the champion of Group V. I can play somebody outside my group. I didn't know they existed in this tournament.
Well, GG's to you, Acktheboker. And GG's to Megawatt as well. He put up a good fight, making it very close at the end there, but unable to take out the Boker.
But thank you for the commentary, restream, and tracking and stuff. I'm gonna go take a 5-minute nap before I go to work. But man, it's always awesome, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, GG Zach. Thanks for chilling with us. See you next round. All right. Well, I guess now that we don't have anyone to talk to anymore, we'll just go ahead and wrap things up. How's that sound?
We could just sit here and chill for a bit. I mean, I don't see anybody forcing us to leave.
Well, we could go and talk.
What's going on?
It's going all right. How about we? Yeah. How about you stop interrupting me? My day will get better.
Fine. Oh my gosh.
So let's take a look in here. We actually don't have anything else lined up on the schedule today in terms of matches, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you are correct.
Give me a second here. I'm gonna load up tomorrow's docket.
There's no more tournament until tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, tomorrow we actually have quite a few people racing, including myself, actually.
Oh my!
Yeah, so let me get this sorted here.
Plug it, man. Rolkin versus Bonta, 5:20 Eastern. Check it out, you guys.
All right, but besides that, we got We don't know how many of these are going to be restreamed or not, but tomorrow we'll have Zero Rush versus Christos Owen Game 3 at 11:20 a.m. We got Gem versus Zelgadison or Zelgadison, however you say that, at 1:20 p.m. Game 1. Got Ninban versus Kappa at 1:20 as well. That is Game 3. Got Asazas versus Zyrak Game 2 at 2:20. And P-Train versus Top Life Game 3 at 3:20. Trinex versus Hitzion Game 3 at 4:20 p.m. And as you've already mentioned, myself versus Bonta at 5:20 p.m. Game 1. Look forward to all those matches. Not sure how many of those are going to get restreamed, but certainly a few of them will.
Yeah, we got a full docket tomorrow. Absolutely.
All right, with that, we shall go ahead and wrap things up here. I've been Relkin.
And I'm Koi. Hi.
Oh, okay. I thought you were some other guy.
Okay.
All right, and thank you so much once again to our tracker, Slowpoke, clicking the buttons behind the scenes, adjusting the volume where necessary. Thanks for all your help today. And thank you to my co-commentator, Koi. We will see you guys next time. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.